sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet. Just go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's
Welcome
different.
and hello,
and
everybody.
Than you
This
think.
is Andrew David. This is
Rise from the ashes.
performance calls. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on the recording, I'm going to tell you, you should show up live once in a while if you can. Obviously, some people can't. But we tend to have some conversations. A lot of times I get started before we start recording and we go long afterwards and you miss out. Not just from me, but members as well. So we're talking about how to build relationships. We're talking about, this circle of influence and who you are around you. There is study after study that shows how important the people around you are. I went over these yesterday. So think about who is in that circle, guys. How many of you guys took some time yesterday, kind of wrote out the core qualities? Did anybody think about these yesterday? I'm going to share this. I'll share this as soon as we're done recording. I'm going to get you this list because there's all these extra slides in here that I want you guys to go over, start to think about who that core group is right now. And I asked you yesterday to write down a list of the top 5 people that are already in that you spend the most time with, and look at it and evaluate it and be harsh, right? This is where you kind of balance I'm going to be super forgiving because I love them and being unforgiving because, damn it, you have to take control of you. That's where it all begins, right? So we have who is in the network right now, and then the same questions for who else can be plugged into that group, right? Your genius network, network of geniuses, your core group, your power 5, your intimate circle, your circle of influence, whatever you want to call it, ladies and gentlemen. What can I bring into that group that's going to help me? Now, here's a connection self-test. Okay, hopefully some of you guys have a pen and paper. If you do, grab the pen and paper. I'm going to give you, we're going to run through these questions. I want you to grade yourself. 1 is poor, 2 is average, 3 is good or great. So grade yourself 1 to 3, 3 being the top. James, you're driving. Don't do this. You can follow along with the numbers. So grade yourself 1 to 3. Number 1, people like me. 3 means I totally agree with that statement. Yes, I'm great there. 1 means, people don't like hanging out with me for whatever reason. And this is where we get to be a little brutally honest with ourselves. Number 1, people like me. Number 2, when I meet new people, I engage them right away. I am not particularly great at this, ladies and gentlemen, not in public. I'm great online, not so much like in the real world. Okay. I was much better before. I've spent the last 6 years living as a hermit and on Zoom. So a little bit different. Next, number 3, I help other people regularly. 1 is poor, 3 is good or great. I help other people regularly. So hopefully you got a pen and paper. Hopefully you're taking note here. Number 4, I look to make connections for others. Is when you meet people, when you hear about them, do you automatically think about how you can help people that they know or that they want to connect with, how you can help them out? Number 5, because we're in a digital space, I have my own site, my own page that I update frequently. In this case, your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your LinkedIn, right? You don't need to update that funnel frequently, but I do need to update my other stuff. This is the world that we're in, guys. Social media, you got to update it. Next, I constantly meet new people. Now, we are, like I said, digital world. So you're either meeting them in real life or you're meeting them digitally. It works both ways. You can meet new people. Number 7, I have a process to network, meaning I connect virtually, real life. I introduce, I commute, and then whatever that communication process is so that you can take them from, I got a new friend on Facebook into something more. Okay. Especially if they're people of a higher caliber that you're wanting to connect with. And then I have a great personal commercial, audio, digital, whatever. And really just what I mean here is if someone asks you, and this is a question that all you guys have to be able to answer, especially on Facebook, if you get messaged, if someone asks you, what do? You've got an answer to them. I help badass boomers to blah, 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 right? Patricia's. I help digital marketers build a foundation, understand their offer, and define the strategies that are going to take them to success. Right? So that's something that I do for brand new people. Something I just got off the phone with a guy who's done, I think overall his offers have done even more than Blake, right? So talking strategy, talking about his products, talking about branding and how to create that message from start to finish, right? Like if you know what you do, that answer should be there, right? So that kind of goes to the mission, the vision. We've talked about that over and over. You guys should have something written out where it's and that's one thing they do in BNI. Hi, my name is Andrew David, and I'm with Recro Max Construction, and we do boom. Like you got to know that, right? Because people are going to ask you, so what do you do? Now, I will tell you on social media, half the people are asking you simply because they feel they have to ask you so that they can tell you what they do. Just be ready for that, okay? Same thing they do in networking situations. Hi, Bruce, what do you do? Oh, well, that's great. I've got a great product right now. Did you realize that, we're about to kick off open enrollment for insurance or, whatever. People listen, people ask in order to tell. Don't do that. If you want to build relationships, don't do that. Here's a couple of hints. I'm going to throw these out. Did everybody get those questions? I'm going to give you those questions later. If you didn't fill out your score, if you look at it and your score is like 10, work on you. Okay. And here's a couple of things that kind of go along with that. Guys, if you want to build relationships, you got to be in tune with yourself. You got to be open and honest and transparent there with yourself, authentic, right? Steve Sims was talking about being transparent. Don't be someone you're not in your marketing, in your content and things like that. If you are not, energy up here, you don't have to be a cheerleader. You don't, right? Be you. If you're goofy, be goofy. I don't think he's on this call. There was a gentleman I was talking to yesterday, and he was kind of joke. We were talking about his branding in the line and like how to present himself, and something came up about The Mandalorian. How many of you guys watch The Mandalorian? Anybody? Star Wars fans? We got to have a couple of Star Wars fans on here for crying out loud. Guys, I'm so disappointed. Okay, good. There's a few. Yeah, Craig and Sarah, absolutely. I know. So in Mandalorian, one of the things that they say all the time is they go, "This is the way." Right? It's kind of a catchphrase that, it's what the guys that wear it. So for those of you that are not Star Wars fans, I'm sorry, I don't know what you've done with your lives over the last 30 years, but one of the things that they say is this is the way, right? The people that wear the armor. I've got a big Mandalorian there. That's where Baby Yoda, I know it's not Baby Yoda. I know it's the child. I know it's Grogu. I get that. But so they say this is the way. So he was kind of joking about that. And I was kind of thinking last night, be the business Jedi, be the marketing Jedi, like play it up, go after business. Like, I don't know how the hell you'd research that, but like, if you're big into certain things, like let that be part of you. Like, I guarantee you there's business owners that want to be Jedis, that want to engage with Star Wars stuff and that would laugh at something like that. And, you throw on a robe, you have a little lightsaber, you do an intro, and then you get into regular training, right? Whatever. But like, be you. If that's you, be you. That's what I mean by that, guys. You're going to build more relationships if you're you than if you're trying to be someone you're not. Right? Like we've all met people that are just, they're fake, and you can tell, right? Craig and Sarah, it's a different conversation, sir. That's after 10 p.m. But just find yourself, be authentic with you. If you like doing things, talk about it, share it, get it out there, because that's going to help you build relationships. And then there's a quote that, have any of you guys seen, there's a meme that says, let me read the exact meme, that says, before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure you are not, in fact, surrounded by assholes. Now, it's been it's been connected to Sigmund Freud. It wasn't from Sigmund Freud. It's been connected to a different author. It wasn't another author. Some random girl like 7-8 years ago that she said she was thinking about her boyfriend and wrote it in a tweet, and then it got retweeted, and then later it was retweeted thousands of times, and then people started turning it into memes because that's what we do in this world. But the point of it holds pretty dang true. If you're frustrated, if you feel like, hey, I'm depressed, pay attention to who's around you first. Clear out the drama and the BS and the, people you don't want around you. Then get comfortable with you. Now I can start building up relationships, right? There is a process to this, guys, but there's so much that can be gained by having the right relationship. So again, this goes to who else or can be plugged into the Genius Network, right? Ask this question first. And then as you're thinking about who you can plug in, these ideas worth using, elegant ideas, execution, smartest in the room versus a room of smart people, kind of think about where you want to go, what you want help with, right? I want someone that's got ideas. I want people that have, ideas that really push to that next level. I want people that execute. I want, I was mentioning a minute ago, the person I was working with right before I got on this call, like they execute like this. I went, hey, I think here's what the offer should be. Here's what the product should be. And he goes, should I price it here? I went, no, you're going to price it like this. We're going to do this one and this one. Here's how you do this payment. If you do a payment plan, you do this. If you do this, boom, boom, boom. He's like, great. I'm going to have it to you in 24 hours. And I know he will, because he executes. I want more people in my life that executes, because it help push me, right? I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room, right? That was one of my goals. Even when I was hosting events and, we'd have hundreds of people in the room. I didn't want, I'm emceeing, I'm providing content, I'm training and stuff, but man, I want to be able to bring some people on stage where I sit in the back of the room and go, holy crap, I'm so glad they're here. Right? That's who you want your circle filled with, guys. And I'll be honest, I don't know if there's anybody on this particular call. You guys are always here all the time. I've met some people, and I'm sure you guys probably have too, that they want to be the smartest person all the time. Or at least they feel like they're the smartest person all the time. I don't want either one of those people in my category, right? Or in my circle. Pay attention. And if you're looking around and you go, man, I really am the smartest, then reevaluate. And think about how you answer that to yourself. Go look at these 5 people and go, am I the smartest? And if you go, man, I'm the smartest, then you have a problem. If you go, am I the smartest? Well, maybe not with this or maybe not with that, but I need to bring other people. Just be honest with yourself there. Okay. I was surrounded with a lot of people who underestimate each other. So it's crucial to be surrounded with people that lift you up. Yeah. Underestimating means that in one way or another, people are being put down or looked down. Right? Mateo, you'd agree with that, right? Like that's essentially what they're doing. Like, you're not capable of this. They're not going to do that. This person isn't going to do this. They're not going to follow through, right? I don't want those people around me. And if that's what you're going to bring out all the time, I'm sorry. You're not going to stay in that, family, brothers and sisters and parents. I don't care. I still love you. But that kind of attitude, and I know some of you guys, if you really get honest with yourself, some of the reasons why you want to succeed, at least at the very beginning, is to prove other people wrong. Absolutely. I got a list of people that fall under that category. When I started, every once in a while I catch myself kind of going, I told you, but I move on quick. I make sure that I do. I don't dwell on that. You're always going to have those haters, right? And I had someone the other day, it was like, well, what happens when people start, if someone starts hating on me? That's great. It's good. It means you're doing so much. It's making other people uncomfortable. That's fantastic. Push that harder. Because if you're pushing so much that people are like, hey, slow down. You're doing why are you doing that? Why would you do that? Why aren't you happy? Why can't you just be satisfied? Man, now you're on the pathway. Because you'll start to attract the tribe of people that are doing stuff. It's one of the, I've done a training on this, but it's easier to 10x than 2x. One of the reasons is because to create this right circle of influence, especially if you want that higher level individual, like that's where you have to be looking. That's where you have to be pushing your output, things that you say, what you do, what you're taking in, everything. people that are at that level, right? Like I'm looking to bring people into my group that are at that 50 million, 100 million plus level. I got to push enough that they go, yeah, I'll talk with that guy because, man, he's putting in effort, right? I'm not trying to be quiet in that regard. Does that make sense, guys? Now, some of you guys are looking at that and going, that's not me, and that's okay. Figure out where you want to be and push for it. Okay. The more you provide them with value, the more they're willing to provide value back. Again, that goes to one of the questions we were talking about the other day about connecting. If one of the first questions you have to ask is, how can I help them? What can I do? What value can I bring? What can I do for them? If you answer that with every relationship, then you'll succeed. Providing value to someone is a whole new way of thinking. It means give first rather than ask first. Don't try to build online relationships and say, hey, I've got a great product that your customers want. You say, who's your core client? Really what you would do is you would say, it looks like this is your core client. What are you looking to do to, build your business? How can I connect you with people? What are you looking for? Is there someone you're trying to connect to? Something like that. Find a way to help back, or you do enough of that research. So this is, again, I'm not talking about just customers here, guys. I'm talking about possible referral partners or business mentors and things like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do enough research where I'm going to say, I know this is what you want. I know this is what your client wants. And so I'm giving you this. Here you go. And they go, man, who are you? You're like, well, I just paid you to be part of your program, or I just joined this because I know that's what you're trying to do. Now I want to connect you with blah, blah, blah. Find a way to add value. Little truth, guys. Your mom taught you everything you need to know about connecting before you were 10 years old. Make friends, play nice, tell the truth, help others, take a bath, and do your homework. So if you're meeting people in public, look good, smell good, dress well, brush your teeth, speak face to face, look them in the eyes, put your phone away. If you're doing it virtually, take a bath, make sure you're dressed, make sure your audio works, right? So people can hear you. Don't mumble. Do your homework. Be nice, right? It's not super complicated. For some reason, we tend to skip things. When you make friends, you don't walk in and say, I want your sandwich. You walk in and say, I'm prepping a whole picnic. Here's what I've got. You should have some. And then later on, they'll be like, I've got a sandwich you can have. I've got $7 I can give you. I've got this list that I can, I've got a podcast you can come on, whatever. Be intentional. So these core values, I'm going to give you guys these slides after today. Some of you guys will study this weekend. I recommend studying it a little bit, at least. Create your core list of values. Make sure that the people that are close to you align with as many of them as possible, right? So you've got these that we kind of talked about yesterday. You can add to it. Please understand, when you're looking at the 5 people close to you, they may not embody every single one of these core values, but you want to make sure you're probably going to have a few deal breakers. You should. I don't want dishonesty. I don't want, people that are rude. There's certain things like I don't need that in my group. So I want to make sure those values align. Do they know your goals, personal, professional, and then do they support you? If someone doesn't support you towards your goals, personally, professionally, health, whatever, they don't have to know every single aspect, right? Like my mom doesn't know how much I'm looking to earn or how many clients I'm trying to bring in at a certain level or who I'm trying to work with. She knows what I'm trying to build. She supports me in that, right? So that's what I mean there. They don't have to know every single thing. Okay. If you set a goal to exercise 3 times a week, would your significant other or friend or, buddy at work or whatever, are they going to encourage you to get moving? Or are they going to say, oh, don't just sit with me. Let's relax. Gosh, you're working out so much. I feel so lazy. That's not a positive statement, right? If you got people that are constantly saying like that stuff, saying stuff like that around you, then you need to reevaluate. Okay. Other questions to ask yourself: do they lift up and support you in your business and growth? If you set a goal to limit drinking, would your circle of influence encourage you to go to happy hour with them? Or are they going to say, hey, why don't we go? Let's do a cup of coffee. I still want to hang out with you. If we're not going to be drinking, I don't want to put you in that situation. Let's go do something else. Right? To be successful long term, you need to be intentional with the people you surround yourself with, and you can absolutely do that. You need people that are going to help support you, keep you accountable. Right? Separate yourself from negativity. I can dive a little deeper into these another time. We can, but I'm going to give you guys these slides. I just want you to think about them this weekend. Look at who you have around you. Ask yourself some of these questions. Create your core values. Look at your core 5, and ask that yourself about. And look, some of you guys, if you're honest, if you want to drop into the chat, whatever. Some of you guys, when I'm asking those questions, you've got people in your life where their name popped up like that. And you went, oh, that's what so-and-so does. That's what she does. Oh, he does this. If that's a feeling that you have, now, if it's your husband or wife, I'm not saying go get a divorce, but have a conversation, be open and communicate about that. There's nothing better than communication in that regard. If they're friends that are around you that have just been around for a long time and that's how they're treating you, I'm sorry. They're just acquaintances that you've gotten comfortable with. Right? And you need to make some changes. And yeah, to what Mervin said a minute ago, it's not going to be comfortable. You know, it's lonely with less friends, but when they're true friends and I can call and connect with, and every single time I talk with them, it's uplifting, or like they hold me accountable. And so there's extra motivation and drive instead of, when you get done, that's who you want in that circle. So I'm going to drop these slides in there, guys. Study some. Think about your relationships. Think about how powerful they can be if you want them to be. So on that note, I'm going to give you these. Guys, go out, have an amazing day. I've got some guests already lined up for this next week. I will talk with all of you then. Have a phenomenal weekend. Everybody stay safe, stay warm, enjoy yourselves, and work and be the shining light in your circle, no matter who is in that circle right now. Be a light to everybody else. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Go have an amazing day, guys. Bye-bye.
See you, everyone.
Take care.
Love.
Thank you for sharing. Bye.
Mervin, the notes are going to be in the Skype group.
I don't think I'm in a Skype group.
Okay. Easiest way. Ask your accountability rep. They'll have the link for it. It'll probably be the easiest way. They'll drop the link in.
Okay.
Who's your accountability rep?
Elaine,
Jason.
I think of
Jason, Matt, or Sierra. It's going to be one of them.
Yeah, sorry, Sierra. Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes people have what it takes, but they haven't recognized it yet.
Appreciate you guys.
Go forward. So what do you need to do? How do you stand out? So what you need to do is be that person that's different and is bigger than you think. Rise from the ashes and fly like the phoenixes that you are.